Your guys' homework on radical equations, okay? So the first thing we gotta do is we have to first, well, let's write down the first question. Now, first, is the radical isolated? Yes, it is. It's the only thing on by itself on the left-hand side. And now to get rid of that square root, we're gonna raise both sides to the second power. We don't need to really put parentheses around that. So this second power and this square root will cancel, right? So all we're left with, you guys, is x plus 1 equals 4 squared, which is 16. And because it's just a degree of 1, you guys, right? The x, just a degree of 1. We just have to isolate the x there to just solve for our x value. So we're going to subtract both sides by 1, and we get 16 minus 1 is 15. So that's our tentative answer so far, but let's check our answer, right? X equals 15, so we're going to plug it into the original equation, you guys. So we get 15 plus 1 equals 4. Square root of 16 equals 4. 4 equals 4. And that produces happiness. So yes, this is going to be our answer. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2. Now when you guys do number 2, let's rewrite it. 2t plus 15 equals t. We're going to raise both sides to the second power. So we're going to get 2t plus 15 is equals to t to the second power. Now, notice we are dealing with quadratics, right? Because the highest degree on either side of the equal sign is 2. So we need to we need to set the equation equal to 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move both of these to this side because I don't like my leading coefficient to be negative. Gone. 0 equals t squared minus 2t minus 15. And then you guys factor that, right? Using your guys' x method. Negative 15, negative 2. We get negative 5 and positive 3. So t minus 5 times t plus 3. And we solve for both of those, you guys. So t's got to equal to 5 and t's got to equal to negative 3. Remember, what value of t will make both of those 0? So let's check our answers, though. We got to check t equals 5 and t equals negative 3. So if we plug in 5 into the original equation, we're going to get 10 plus 15 equals 5. 10 plus 15 is 25. Square root of 25 is 5. So yes, this works. So t equals 5 is definitely one of our answers. Now let's check t equals negative 3. So plug that in into the original equation. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 15 equals negative 3. Square root of 9 equals negative 3. 3 equals negative 3. That is a false statement, you guys. So that means this is not going to be one of our answers. So your only answer is t is equals to 5. Okay. Number 3. We got p minus 4 equals negative 5. So is this isolated? Yes, the radical is isolated. So let's raise both sides to the second power. Now I'm going to put this whole thing to the second power, okay? Because it's a negative 5. So the second power and the p minus 4 will cancel, just like how it did over there. So we're going to get p minus 4 equals 25. Add 4 to both sides, so p is equals to 29. And we just isolate it from here, you guys, because it's linear. So now let's plug this in back to the original equation and see what we get, right? The square root of 29 minus 4 equals negative 5. We get 29 minus 4 is 25. Square root of 25 is just 5. Well, 5 for sure does not equal to negative 5, so this can't be our answer. So the only thing we have left, you guys, is no solution. Because our only answer we had was an extraneous solution. So we have no solution. Next, number 4. So what do we have here? So square root of 2 minus x equals x minus 2. Is the square root isolated? Yes. So we're going to raise both sides to the second power. So these cancel, right? That square root of that second power. So we just have 2 minus x equals, I want this to be in purple. 2 minus x equals, now here you guys, we got x minus 2 times itself, right? So that is going to be a double distribution. 2 minus x equals x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. These combine like terms. 2 minus x equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. And because we are dealing with quadratics, and we know because that's a degree of 2, we're going to make this whole thing, equation, equals to 0. So I'm going to add x to both sides. And I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So we have this, and now we can do our x method, you guys, right? The two numbers I multiply at 2, but when added gives you guys negative 3. That's negative 2 and negative 1. X minus 2 times x minus 1. So x is equal to 2 and x is equals to 1. But we still gotta check this, right? So if we plug in x equals 2 into there, you guys, we get the square root of 2 minus 2 equals 2 minus 2. Well, that's 0 equals 0, 0 equals 0. That's a true statement. So x equals 2 is certainly one of our answers. But let's try x equals 1, right? Square root 2 minus 1 equals 1 minus 2. We get the square root of 1 equals negative 1. 1 equals negative 1. That is not a true statement. So this can't be our answer. So the only answer is x is equals to 2. With x equals 1 being an extraneous solution. Number 5. So we got the square root of s squared minus 1 and the square root of 5s minus 5. So I mean, they're both isolated, guys, on both sides, so all we gotta do is just raise both sides to the second power. Now look, both of those get eliminated, so you guys are just left with s squared minus 1 equals 5s minus 5. But because we're dealing with a quadratic, right, let's just make this whole equation equal to 0. So I'm gonna subtract negative 5s from both sides. Now we get s to the second power minus 5s minus 1 equals negative 5. And then add 5 to this side. S to the second minus 5s plus 4, you guys, equals 0. So we do gotta factor this, right? It's negative 4 and negative 1. So s minus 4 times s minus 1 equals 0. So s equals 4 and s equals 1. But we gotta check that, right? We gotta check that. So for s equals 4, if we plug it in into the original, we get 4 to the second minus 1. Does that equals to 5 times 4 minus 5? Well, 4 to the second, you guys, is just 16 minus 1. This side is just 20 minus 5. So square root of 15 equals square root of 15. I would say that definitely works, right? So s equals 4 is definitely one of our answers. But now let's check s equals 1. So if we plug in a 1 into your guys' s's, we get 1 squared is just 1. 5 times 1 is just 5. 1 minus 1, square root of 0. Square root of 0, 0 equals 0. That also works, right? So both of these answers is our answer, which if you look, s is equal to both of them. And now the last one, you guys. 6. So we got the cube root of x equals 4. Now, the radical is isolated, first of all, and the index, you guys, it's 3. So we're going to raise both sides to the third power. And if you guys do that, that eliminates that radical, so we got x equals 4 to the third, which is just basically what's 4 times 4 times 4? 64. And if we check, and we plug that in back into the original equation, is the cube root of 64 equals to 4? Yes, it is. So x equals 4 is one of our answers. So again, just constantly practice and get the confidence you need, because, you know, you'll definitely see this again, and hopefully you guys practice this enough where you guys get comfortable with it. Okay? Good luck, everyone. Peace.